instead of Camp David as originally planned today. PBS reporting a short time ago the president says Iran would not get sanctions relief in exchange for giving up highly enriched uranium. That cabinet meeting to include a former member of the administration returning in a new role.
Former Attorney General Pam Bondi has been appointed to the Presidential Council of Advisors on Science and Technology. The advisory panel is key in shaping the Trump administration's policies on artificial intelligence and other emerging technologies. Bondi offered her resignation as AG in April. A report out this week says she was diagnosed with thyroid cancer. Weeks later, Axios reports Bondi underwent treatment and is recovering.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. Alabama is now asking the U.S. Supreme Court to intervene in a redistricting fight. The state's Republican leadership wants to use a 2023 congressional map with just one majority black district instead of two in a map federal judges ordered the state to use this week. America is listening to Fox News.
Now, your official weather forecast.
This afternoon, expect mostly sunny skies and very warm conditions with a high of 86. Air quality will be unhealthy for sensitive groups. Tonight will be partly cloudy with a low of 55. Tomorrow will bring mostly sunny skies, breezy conditions, and pleasant weather with a high of 72. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com. Make sure that you never miss a day of Sean Thompson when you subscribe to the Sean Thompson Show podcast, presented by the Alpha Wealth Group. Listen to the entire show each day on demand with limited commercial breaks. You can subscribe today for free at 560theanswer.com and click on podcasts, or search for The Sean Thompson Show on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
If you want unlimited talk, text, and data on a super fast network, Big Wireless will sell it to you right now for as little as $70 a month. Or you can buy it from Pure Talk for half of that. I'm talking about unlimited talk, text, and data for just $34.99 a month. But wait, there's more. When you switch to Pure Talk, you'll be switching to an American wireless company that's committed to keeping 100% of its customer service in this country. I appreciate that. In fact, that's why I switched. I also appreciate the way they support our vets and our skilled workforce. Dial pound 250, say micro, and get unlimited talk, text, and unlimited data for just $34.99 a month. That's pound 250 micro. Stop paying twice what you need to pay for the service you want and switch to an American wireless company that actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
Let me ask you something. Does your garage floor look bad? Covered in salt, cracked, or stained from the winter's brutal blast? Well, I've got a fix for you so you can start enjoying your garage this spring. Contact my good friends at Level 10 Coatings. Level 10 brought my garage floor from dirty and gross to showroom, shiny new in just one day. Level 10 Coatings can do the same for you. A quick and easy fix, permanent durable solution. Guaranteed to never chip or peel. Get it done now so you can enjoy your garage this spring and summer. Schedule your free quote today and mention me, Amy, for $500 off. Visit level10coatings.com. That's level, the number 10, coatings.com. Level10coatings.com or call 855-510-2628. Again, that's 855-510-2628. Level 10 Coatings, your premier concrete coating experts.
Well, we decided to develop our own mattress line just, I think, purely from a quality standpoint again.
We wanted to go the opposite way the industry was going. The industry was cheapening things, and we didn't believe in that.
Ben and Arvid from Penny Mustard Furnishings.
The entire mattress industry has gone to one-sided. We still believe that a two-sided is going to last you longer. You can get more comfort out of it.
5 years from now, 10 years from now, I want them to look back and say, wow, I bought that a long time ago, and I'm still really happy with it. That's true in our mattresses. It's true in our furniture.
PennyMustard.com.
Picture warm Gulf breezes, turquoise waters, white sand beaches. Now, add evenings of conversation with Salem Media's Mike Gallagher, Scott Jennings, Larry O'Connor, and Jennifer Horn. This November, sail from Fort Lauderdale to the Bahamas, Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, and Mexico on a 7-day journey built for those who love this country. Book your cabin today when you text the word cruise to 94878. Celebrate America's 250th anniversary the right way on the Gulf of America Cruise. Book your cabin now. Text the word cruise to 94878.
Portions of the following show may be pre-recorded.
The following live program is sponsored by Breakthrough Ideas.
AM 560, The Answer. It's time for breaking news, expert insight, and informed commentary on what's happening in Springfield, Chicago, and beyond. Because an informed citizenry is the only way to protect our republic. It's time for The Real Story with Jeannie Ives and Amy Jacobson.
Well, they're calling it a success, a successful Memorial Day weekend, Jeannie.
Yeah, that's not how they reported it on Laura Ingraham or Fox and Friends last night, because Chicago has become front and center in the national debate about crime and what's happening with teen takeovers, and for good reason.
Well, this is, national news. Yes, they picked up on it. Fox News, even CNN, terrorizing weekend, teen takeovers. But here's our good friends at NBC5.
It's great to be with you. Thank you so much for joining us at 6 o'clock. Good evening. I'm Stephen Holt.
I'm Allison Rosati. We're coming off a Memorial Holiday weekend with a statistic Chicago has not seen in years. 0 homicides recorded. That's according to Chicago police.
Some encouraging statistics there, but there is still a concerning trend as we head into the summer. There were 2 teen takeovers over the holiday weekend.
Okay, lies, and more damn lies. See what they did there? Everybody, Channel 7, Channel 5, Channel 2. There were no homicides. No, there was one. A toddler was shot, self-inflicted wound, dead. That happened on Monday. And 40 people shot. I don't call that a success. So then somebody asked Governor Pritzker, who is down in central Illinois, about the violence and what he's going to do. And Jeannie, guess what? He says there's nothing to see here. We're improving.
So there are a couple things that I've done since becoming governor that are assisting, and you've seen that across the state we actually have brought down the crime rates. Illinois, I'd like to have the lowest crime rate in the entire country. We're 19th out of 50 states, so I think we should be proud of that, but also focused on doing better. I've funded community violence intervention programs that were never funded before I became governor. In fact, they were defunded. That has helped us address the underlying causes of crime in communities, bring down violent crime in particular. So what I can say is that
let's check in with those violence interrupters. Here's James Mitchell. He's with the Metropolitan Peace Initiative.
It's heartbreaking. We want our young people to be able to come out. We want our young people to be able to experience the beach. The beach is a beautiful place. And this city doesn't belong to just one person, us collectively.
Crisis responder James Mitchell with the Metropolitan Peace Initiative says his team had boots on the ground at the beach trying to engage with the youth before things took a turn.
What we've learned from doing this and from the data is that if you build relationships with them beforehand, you have a better chance of mediating and essentially leading their behavior into a positive effect.
Was that a positive effect? They weren't able to reach them. And what were you saying? How much is a Metropolitan Peace Initiative funded?
It is interesting because I went to Metropolitan Peace Initiative's website, and I also put them into the GATA database, and they didn't come up. But when you go to their website, it appears to me that they're part of Metropolitan Family Services that receive over $50 million from the state of Illinois for various programs, albeit, but a lot of it is for violence prevention, after-school programs, daycares, all these things that are supposed to feed in to not having violence on the streets actually doesn't seem to be working at all.
Tio Hardiman with Violence Interrupters. How did it go this weekend?
Do everything in your power to keep your kids occupied almost 24 hours a day. Make sure your kids are in their bedroom because some of these young people jump out the window and go run the streets late at night.
Yeah, and Tio's a friend. I like Tio. I appreciate what he does. But honestly, he talked about at one point, look, we just kind of had a bunch of the teens gather around late at night so that they weren't downtown interrupting and doing all sorts of stuff. And so we think we prevented some things from happening. But how many is he talking about? 20 teens? I don't know.
Well, 1,000 showed up on 57th and Lakeshore Drive. And, of course, 20 hours before that, an 18-year-old from Plainfield, not from Chicago, not from CPS, from Plainfield, Illinois, drove all the way up, and he used his vehicle to try, and I say kill, 5 Chicago police officers. Let's bring FOP President John Cantanzara into this conversation. Good morning, John. How are you?
Good morning, ladies. I'm great. How about yourself?
So we had a hell of a weekend here. First of all, how do you feel about the mainstream media saying that this is great? We should be celebrating.
You know, big success. I guess the prayers the mayor's having with the Pope in Rome are paying off after all. What a joke.
I know. So where do we go from here? Everybody wants to know what can we do? I mean, Mayor Johnson did say, well, my son went to prom Friday night, but he came back home. Well, good for you, Brandon Johnson.
With a Chicago police escort.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, yeah, Look, we want to know, though, I mean, do you have any ideas, like, how does this actually end? How do you stop the mob actions from happening every single weekend we see this?
Well, I mean, I remember not that long ago when I was in that same age category, along the southwest side of the city by Midway, there used to be a very populated drag area where cars would just go in this gigantic loop, park in parking lots, hang out, do a lot of the same things without the terrorizing the citizens, destroying property, or anything else. But the vehicle traffic became so congestive and the parking lots became a meeting place and the property owners pushed back enough where politicians actually took action and made it a no cruising strip anymore. Your car would be subjected to impoundment and seizure. At what point, that's step number one, getting the vehicles off the street, whether it's these motorcycle takeovers, these drifting intersection takeovers. Take the car, and the city now owns that car. I guarantee you it will go a long way to curbing that nonsense once parents start realizing they're out a $30,000 vehicle. Number two, a lot of police officers do disable vehicles in those situations. Cut tires, whatever they need to do to disable the vehicle from going to the next place, and then you have an ability to take the car there. The teen takeovers, it was a thread, whatever it was, an Instagram thread that I saw, kind of framed it pretty accurately. Yeah, numbers of crime may be down, and it's got nothing to do with the violence interrupters, which is just the modern day grift of millions of dollars of money being paid to people who politically strong-arm politicians about certain demographic votes, give us money or else. But nonetheless, what they said was, yes, the numbers can be down. However, interactions, and they highlighted this crazy guy on a CTA train who just started ranting at people, screaming at people, daring someone to get in his face for sticking up for somebody. What they said was, this is what makes the city feel less safe to everybody in more corners of the city than ever before. It doesn't translate to a police report, an arrest, a statistic, but it is an epidemic within our city where these kind of people and this kind of behavior far too long. It has now become the norm, and that's why some 18-year-old kid, and by all accounts has some pretty stand-up parents, because I was in court yesterday, and the mother, again, apologized for her son's behavior that day when he rammed 5 police officers. So I don't know that it was necessarily upbringing as much as who he's been hanging around with. Nonetheless, it was the John Bartholomew effect. And what I mean by that is what happened with the offender in the John Bartholomew case has sent a ripple through the criminal justice system where judges now get it. And I was stunned, along with many other people in that courtroom yesterday, when they held that offender in custody. They did not give him electronic monitoring. I thought there was a very strong possibility that was going to happen, but the judge refused and held him in custody.
Was he a first-time offender?
Step in the right direction.
Yeah.
Was he? Okay.
Yeah. Well, tell me more about his mom. Did he go to Plainfield High School? Is he a senior? What do we know about him?
So he went to Orr High School. I guess he has family in the city.
Of course.
I don't know the particulars on how long he's been in Plainfield, but again, it was a pretty stand-up thing to do for the mother because it doesn't really happen. I mean, right before that, you had the other piece of garbage who cheap-shotted an officer and broke out all his teeth with brass knuckles, the big coward that he was. And his family literally started trouble last week at the hearing and confronting the officer's family. And even yesterday, as they were leaving the courtroom, four of them are sitting there mean-mugging the family and everybody sitting in support of the officer as they're walking out of the courtroom. Like, we did something wrong, not you and the way you raised your piece of garbage son. But so it's a totally different situation when the mother is outside and literally asks, "Are you guys police officers? I'm so sorry for what happened. This is just not what we taught them." It doesn't happen. So I want to give kudos to the parents for at least acknowledging their son screwed up here.
Yeah, but the officers, they could have shot him to death. I mean, he used his vehicle as a weapon. People don't realize that. Just walk us through what happened.
Right. Well, I mean, so he literally initially was coming westbound on Roosevelt Road. Now, traffic was blocked off so they can force the people up Loomis and onto Roosevelt to go west. They were cutting off eastbound traffic. This kid decides, since he couldn't get more, he was going to go into the oncoming lane of traffic eastbound on Roosevelt and come into where the police officers had the street blocked off. A police car, a marked police vehicle with lights activated, tried to stop him. He then kind of just pushed his way through, struck one officer as he was going through the first line. Then he turned the car and was going down Loomis and struck a second officer, and then literally kept on going a second time after hitting. I mean, these are three separate incidents where he then struck three more officers after that before crashing into a parked car and a telephone pole. And mind you, he had a handgun with a 30-round clip with a round in the chamber in his waistband when he was grabbed.
Okay,
So
but he had a FOID card, right? But he had a FOID card. He was a licensed carrier. He had concealed carry license as well, right?
No, he didn't have either one of those. And thank God, I don't know if you know this too.
Okay, Mom. Okay, Mother. Yeah. Okay, Mom. I don't want to hear it from them.
Okay, so go on.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Okay.
We were all teenagers at one point. We all did stupid things, and I'm not excusing this kid's behavior because the gun's the most troubling part of the equation. You know, the ignorant part of bumping a police officer, running him, that'll wash itself out. And I'm not minimizing what he did by any stretch of the imagination, but we all do stupid things. He did it 3 times in a row, though. That's the problem here.
And he's lucky they didn't
he did it
fatally. Why didn't officers shoot at him, though?
That's the magic question. I've made this comparison time and time again. You can go all the way back to the 2020 riots when 51 of our officers were hurt guarding that Christopher Columbus statue that Lightfoot said would never come down. Not a single round was fired, even though every single officer up protecting that statue being attacked with fireworks being shot at their face, literally frozen water bottles and bricks being thrown at their head would have been justified in firing at those crowds of people throwing those things and shooting those things at them, and it didn't happen. And if it did happen, then we'd be saying, oh, the police overreacted. But that's because the press and the politicians keep making excuses for this behavior, and there is no consequences.
How is Officer Bartholomew's former partner doing? I heard he was moved to a rehab center.
Yes, he's progressing pretty well. I mean, spirit-wise, he's up, he's talking, he's sitting up in bed. He's obviously started rehab, physical rehab. He's got a long road to recovery. He's definitely eager to have as many visitors as possible. He wants all of his, obviously, police family to come visit him and keep him occupied and keep his spirits up. I say this. I want to give a shout out to Carlos Yanez Jr., who has been to visit Nelson at least 2 times or 3, I think, at this point, because no one knows better what Nelson's going through than Carlos. And he couldn't wait to go and try and give this kid some inspiration and keep fighting. But Crespo is miles ahead of where Carlos was a month after the shooting. So that's a positive in that direction. And we're going to keep supporting him and his family and make sure we do right by him.
And we also want to mention we have a big fundraiser for Officer Bartholomew on Friday, June 5th at Hattie's Club in Rosemont from 6 to 9 p.m. I'll be bartending again, actually bartending, and other people will be there. But if you can help us out, It's $50 at the door and live entertainment. All the proceeds, 100% go to Officer Bartholomew's family. So will you be there, John?
I'm going to try.
Hey, right. You're a very busy man. I know.
Unfortunately. Let me just clarify, though. I don't want anybody to think I was minimizing what this clown did by hitting 3 groups of officers. The first one you can call teenage stupidity, but the fact he didn't stop and make sure the officer was all right, and then whether he panicked or not, I really don't care. There's no excuse for then running over another officer and then 3 more after that.
No, we understand.
I was just talking about the initial decision to do something stupid. We all get caught up in those kind of moments at some point in life, but he definitely is going to have an answer. The judge was very concerned about the multiple attempts and the weapon. So I hope every judge subsequently sticks to that and he gets held in custody for the end of his situation, whatever it ends up being.
All right. FOP President John Cantanzara, thank you so much for all you do for the officers, and we will definitely have you back. Appreciate it.
Can we all say a prayer for the mayor? I'm sure he's saying a novena right now that Springfield bails him out and the Bears stay in Chicago. Nice job, clown.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, John Cantanzara. All right. Coming up on The Real Story on the future of the data centers in Illinois.
Exposing the lies and the misinformation from the politicians and the media. This is The Real Story on AM 560. The Answer.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6745. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6745. That's 800-575-6745. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Hi, I'm Ken Mariotti, owner of Woodland Windows and Doors, a third-generation family-owned business since 1969. We know you're bombarded by choices when shopping for new windows or doors, so we're inviting you to experience the Woodland difference. For decades, we have been transforming living spaces with Marvin Windows, a fifth-generation family business. Marvin replacement windows have been known to increase the warmth of your cold rooms by 10 degrees. Think about that, 10 degrees warmer. When you welcome Woodland into your home, you will get a product expert to transform your living spaces, full-time, dedicated professional installers that you can trust in your home, along with the best products like Marvin. These are the reasons we're proud of our 5-star reviews and family legacy. No gimmicks, no pressure, and upfront pricing are why Woodland Windows and Doors is your trusted window and door expert in Chicagoland. Visit woodlandwindows.com to book your free in-home expert consultation. That's woodlandwindows.com or stop by our showroom at the corner of Lake and Geary in Roselle.
Everywhere you turn, it's plus, plus, plus. Retail chains, streamers, even our phones come with plus. And to think it all started with Hasseless Mattress, because nobody has more plus than us. Right now at Hasseless, get a Queen Beauty Sleep by Beautyrest Elm Cove A mattress. Others sell it for $1,459, but Hasseless has it for just $794. Plus, through Monday, you'll also get a free adjustable base. Plus, a huge selection of Beautyrest, Sealy Posturepedic, and other big name brands. Plus, free financing. Plus, free next day delivery and setup. Plus, free haul away and disposal of your old mattress. Plus, employee-free showrooms. Get all this, plus a whole lot more when you shop at Hasseless Mattress. Woo! All these pluses have me feeling nonplussed. Save big on Sealy Posturepedic, Beautyrest, and more every day from 9 to 9. Find an employee-free showroom near you or shop online at Hasseless.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
I'm just going to start. All right, welcome back. It's The Real Story with Jeanne and Amy. And, I don't have time to do this entire story justice and play all my clips, but I think that it's really important that you guys understand the conversation that's going on. And by the way, phone lines are open here. Text line is open here, 312-642-5600 if you want to weigh in on any of the commentary that just we heard from the FOP president, or if you want to talk about anything else that's going on in Springfield. We're happy to take your questions and answer your calls. I did come across this with editorial, which I think is really important. So I'm going to lead with this editorial, and then maybe later in the show we'll get to my data center discussion, because you should hear what happened in committee and the arguments going on, because the data center discussion is not going away, folks. It is a huge discussion. They have what they call the Power Act down there in Springfield that they are talking about, because it doesn't matter what side of the aisle you are on, red or blue. The people in communities are upset with the data centers, and they're afraid of the power that is needed for them. They're afraid of the water resources that is needed for them. So they're not going away, though. Data centers are not going away, and this is a issue that everyone across the United States is having to deal with. Small communities, big communities. I know the building that we're in right now, from where we broadcast, brand new data center right across the street went up. And there's another one right next to us. And I've heard
there's a third one coming.
A third one coming.
I don't know if you were here that day, but we had a power surge, and we were like, it's got to be the data center. Everything went black, and then it came back on. It's pretty scary.
It's a really important topic. And right now down in Springfield, you've got a bunch of legislators that trying to figure out what is our next step when it comes to data centers. So they had this big hearing yesterday. I have a number of good clips I will play for you later on. But ahead of that, let's this commentary printed in the Chicago Tribune yesterday is really important to go through. And it is from Dan Brulette. And he was the U.S. Secretary of Energy from 2019 to 2021, and he's the co-chair of the consultancy group Torridon Group. So, he's probably got a bent, but he's not wrong in what he says here. Not wrong one bit. He writes, Illinois is at an energy crossroads and time is running out. Let me just read his opening. Illinois is at an energy crossroads. The decisions made in Springfield over the next few years will determine whether Illinois families enjoy reliable, affordable power or pay more for a system that delivers less of it. A decade ago, Illinois was an energy powerhouse. The state produced more electricity than it consumed and exported the surplus across the region. Today, that advantage is being legislated away. In December, state regulators released a resource adequacy report that should have stopped Springfield in its tracks. Northern Illinois could face energy shortfalls as soon as 2029, with the rest of the state to follow by 2031 under current policy. That is a flashing red light, and policymakers should treat it as one. Current policy phase-outs of coal and natural gas baseload, the workhorses of the grid, and replacing them with intermittent generation and ratepayer subsidized alternatives. The goal may be well-intentioned, but the execution is deeply flawed. And then he writes, reliable energy is not built on aspiration. It's built on physics, fuel, and steel in the ground. We've covered this a lot of times, but I mean, they're basically, they approved an $8 billion battery build-out financed by Illinois ratepayers. Batteries are useful, but they're not generation. You need actual generation, and it takes years for that to come online. And so he goes on about how, this is just not good for all long-term for us. And he ends with this. Illinois lawmakers can keep prioritizing ideology over reliability and hope the system holds, or they can choose a path that protects ratepayers, attracts investment, and keeps the lights on. The choice is clear and the clock is running out. So much more on this topic, because it's really important for you to understand this Power Act that's being discussed in Springfield and what it means for you.
Your home is a valuable asset, and you want to take care of your home. From roofs, siding, windows and doors to furnaces, flooring, landscaping, and much more. Listen to your go-to for all things home. It's Home Answers Radio with your host, Roger Piper. Get answers from industry experts so you can make informed decisions about home improvement. Listen every Saturday at noon for Home Answers right here on AM 560 The Answer. Sponsored in part by JeffBuysYourHouse.com and by Center Guard Plumbing.
Amid tense talks with Tehran, with Iran state media putting out what it claims is a draft of a peace proposal that would involve the lifting of the U.S. blockade and Iran reopening the Strait of Hormuz.
Iran is demanding, apparently, $24 billion in frozen funds to agree to all this, prompting concern from lawmakers about emboldening Iran and also prompting a response from President Trump, who's pushing back against anyone who doubts his ability to make a good deal.
That's Fox's Jackie Heinrich, and it's former President Joe Biden's turn to take aim at the DOJ. Fox's Tanya J. Powers.
The lawsuit filed by former President Biden urges a federal judge to block the release of the transcripts and audio recordings of his private conversations with the ghostwriter of his book, Promise Me, Dad, A Year of Hope, Hardship, and Response.
Now, unless the court intervenes, it'll be released June 15th. America's listening to Fox News.
Now, your official weather forecast.
This afternoon, expect mostly sunny skies with very warm conditions and unhealthy air quality for sensitive groups, reaching a high of 86. Tonight will be partly cloudy with a low of 55. Tomorrow will bring mostly sunny skies, breezy conditions, and pleasant weather with a high of 72. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best Eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best.
Have you ever wondered, with all the different religions and interpretations of the Bible, how you can be sure that you're on the right path in your spiritual journey? The powerful new book, You and God by Peter Philippi, helps you answer this question and discover how to establish a truly personal relationship with God through biblical understanding and faith. Get your copy of You and God by Peter Philippi today by visiting pbmusa.org. That's pbmusa.org.
The mainstream media isn't just biased. They're hiding stories from you deliberately. Restoration News is changing that. With elite researchers and fearless writers, Restoration News is the conservative media force fighting back in the information war for America's future. Download the Restoration News mobile app today or visit restoration-news.com. That's restoration-news.com. Real stories, real truth. It's time you knew what they don't want you to know.
All right, I'm so excited I can golf on our golf outing. By the way, we still have some foursomes available. Go to 560theanswer.com/golf. It is June 15th at the McCray Memorial Golf Club in Barrington. And the reason why I can golf is because of Virago. Yes, I even called Dr. Huber the other day and said, I don't know what's going on. I've had shoulder pain for a year. I did not want to have surgery. Don't have time for downtime at all because that would take about 6 to 9 months, and then it might not even work. So I called Dr. Huber and said, what's going on here? This is the only thing I've been doing different. And he said that Virago is an anti-inflammatory. So a lot of pain is associated with inflammation. So swelling's gone. I could use my shoulder again, and I will be golfing. But here's what you do. Virago is so much more than an anti-inflammatory. It's an antioxidant. It has 23 powerful nutrichemicals working together in synergy. And it even protects your heart, kidneys, and liver. And because it's liquid, folks, your body absorbs it quickly. I mix my Virago in with my orange juice. You can put it in smoothies, and you will feel the difference. Trust me. So order your bottle of Virago today at myvirago.com. That's myVIROGO.com. Use coupon code IMMUNE to save 30%. myvirago.com. Coupon code IMMUNE.
Now that spring is here, it's time for some spring home maintenance.
That's cold!
Hot water issues? Call Center Guard Plumbing. Right now, get a new 40-gallon atmospheric vent water heater installed for just $1,295 standard installation, or a 50-gallon for $1,395 standard installation with free haul away of your old tank. A proud sponsor of AM 560, you'll save hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on tankless and atmospheric vent water heaters with CenterGuard Plumbing. Plus, get 10% off any licensed plumbing contractor competitor's price. CenterGuard Plumbing is Chicagoland's same-day water heater experts. Call before noon, and they can schedule your repair or install the same day on in-stock water heaters. You're only a text away from install today. Call 847-406-8883. Mention AM 560 to receive spring special pricing. That's 847-406-8883. Call or text 847-406-8883 or visit CenterGuardPlumbing.com.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Goldilocks, offering smart security systems to homes and businesses. Call Goldilocks at 708-889-5600.
AM 560, The Answer.
Just love that song. It's Watchdog time. But before we get to John Kraft with the Edgar County Watchdogs, we're going to take this real quick call from George in Elk Grove Village. George, welcome to the program.
Good morning. Hey, I have a great idea. Why doesn't Springfield go ahead and make all the data centers rely only on green renewable energy? Have them pay for the cost of it. Have them pay for what it costs to buy the electricity from that. Leave us alone. I don't want to subsidize them.
Well, green renewable energy is not going to power the data centers, that's for sure.
Well, why should we have to pay for that then?
Yeah, no, George, we're going to get more into that discussion. I appreciate the phone call, but I will tell you this. You can't. The power going into a data center has to be 99.9999% pure, which is why it is always located near a nuclear plant, or it has gas-fired or diesel power plants on site to power them. It's always done with some sort of fossil fuel or nuke, because you must have reliable power 100% of the time. And so, but thanks for, I love the tongue-in-cheek stuff, because honestly, yeah, you guys like your renewable, go ahead and power your data centers with it. Thanks a lot, George. We'll get back to that topic. But first, we're going to go to the Watchdogs. John Kraft, thanks for joining us. How about you? You had a little bit of a update on the Markham Park District helicopter stunt. What do you want to tell our listeners about that and their credit card?
Well, thanks for having us, Jeannie. The Markham Park District, after I learned of the helicopter stunt, I FOIA'd it for several months of their credit card statements. And, the bills are outrageous as far as the fees that they're paying. They've paid 3 times in 9 months, $50 each to reactivate the card. I don't know how a card would get deactivated, but to pay $50 to reactivate it, $10 a month for paper copies of the statement. Why don't you just log on and download them? A monthly fee of $4, financing fees of $487. In September, they paid a late fee of $250. October, late fee of $175. December and January, late fee of $469. February, late fee of $175. And March, a late fee of $175. And all of these late fees happen in months where what they actually charged was probably a quarter of what the late fee was. And it was based off of a $3,000 or $4,000 purchase months prior.
So this is how credit card companies are making money. They just do business with towns run by Democrats and blue states, and then they can make their money. So what's another thing that's astronomical that she put on her credit card? Were you able to find out besides that $800 flight?
Not yet. I am going to FOIA for copies of these receipts, and there are lots of even dollar amounts like $25 and $50 where I believe it's probably gift cards of some sort, because you don't just charge $25 at a store.
Well, I wonder if she bought her daughter's prom dress, shoes.
Well, I mean,
it was all about prom. Come on, I mean.
We didn't get the May credit card statement yet, but it's probably going to be a doozy when we get it. So that'll have to wait till towards the end of June before we get that one.
Well, I have a little bit of problem here with a couple things. One, why is the executive director even having a credit card for which she actually can charge directly things directly? That does not make sense to me. Whatever. Doesn't she have a procurement officer to go and purchase or go fill up a vehicle or do whatever? Because some of this that you put out in your story, which, by the way, you can go to EdgarCountyWatchdogs.com. John has a story up on this. But she has a Shell fleet card. She has a 7-Eleven super fleet card. Is she literally putting gas in the cars at the Markham Park District?
Who knows? And I know they charge up an electric vehicle all the time and pay for that.
I mean, this doesn't even make sense. If you're the executive director, you're not touching procurement personally, filling up a car. And if you are, I'm suspecting that you're filling up your personal vehicle.
And with park districts, I believe any payments have to be approved ahead of time by the board before they're paid.
Yeah, well, we've seen how that's worked before. Okay, well, in a similar vein, you've got Thaddeus Jones. He is a state rep, but he is also the mayor of Calumet City. And WGN did a substantial review of their credit card spending, and they wrote an article about it.
He didn't like that. Thaddeus Jones fought back against WGN and Ben Bradley, threatening them. It was great.
Yeah, well,
you know what? So now you look really, really guilty instead of just guilty.
I've had my run-ins with Thaddeus when we were state reps together. I also helped him through a property tax bill that he wanted desperately, so he asked for my help on it. Unfortunately, his Democrats shot it down. But anyway, in the report, they are saying another South Suburban leader, Thaddeus Jones, faces questions about charges for travel, meals, and more. Like Henyard, Thaddeus Jones holds 2 taxpayer-funded jobs. He's the mayor of Calumet City and a Democratic state lawmaker. In all, the positions paid him more than $225,000 last year. Well, he's getting a good $100,000 plus as a state rep, so he's making the same as Calumet mayor. Calumet City mayor. The credit card is absolutely positively just extra money, said Nyota Figgs, Calumet City clerk, who has publicly clashed with Jones. I mean, he used it as his personal wallet. The city was his personal purse, period. And so they investigated. A total of more than $35,000 spent at restaurants, including Chicago Cut, Hooters, and Cafe Borgia in Munster, Indiana, where the bills topped $14,000. I'm sorry.
Grown men should not be going to Hooters.
More than $17,000 charged for last year's trip to Washington, D.C. That included 7,700 for rooms at the luxury Marriott Marquis and $2,653 for the upscale STK Steakhouse. Total travel-related charges of more than $46,000 for Jones and others. Besides Washington, D.C. destinations included Las Vegas, Colorado Springs, and Miami. He's the mayor of Calumet City. Why is he going to these destination places? Jones denied multiple interview requests. He did not attend a recent board meeting because he said the ILGA was in session, la, 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 la. Anyway, either way, it's our public funds, said Calumet City Alderman Monette Wilson, and we want to know why he keeps spending. I want to know why, John, why would the city mayor have his own credit card that he is personally charging items on? It makes no sense whatsoever.
They shouldn't be charging personal items, and it's my understanding. We're working on a story on this, and he did provide several receipts where some of the things that was mentioned, he actually paid with his private credit card, and a lot of was reimbursed at a later date. But you shouldn't charge and then reimburse because that's the use of public credit. But I don't know. As far as going to these different places, there may have been some type of conference or something. Everybody goes to conferences.
Yeah, but no, I'm not buying it. I mean, you can make excuses all you want. I am not buying that the mayor of Calumet City needs to spend $35,000 at restaurants. Period. Full
Hooters
stop.
and Chicago Cut, and where else did he go? I mean, that's ridiculous.
No.
But also, 4 days ago, Calumet City laid off 46 workers due to quote unquote profound fiscal challenges. Do you know who got laid off?
The non. I understand as the non-public safety people.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So and he didn't from the article I read, it wasn't the public safety people. Now back to all this spending.
Yes.
The state laws need to be changed. State laws need to mandate when people go to conferences, and public officials take airplanes. It needs to be the lowest priced airfare, period. And they need to be given the IRS per diem limit that they can spend on meals that day, period. If they want to spend more, they have to come out their pocket. But that's not the way it is.
Yeah, no, not at all. But I mean, you know what? You don't even need a law to do that. You just need trustees or electing the right people who naturally would do that, would instinctively do that instead of picking the pocket of taxpayers who obviously can't afford it. Calumet City is one of those other South suburban cities with some of the highest property taxes in the state. Hey, I want to add to this story, though, because in the wake of all these allegations involving city spending and state funding threats, there's now an additional controversy because Jones appears to have threatened to withhold $250,000 in state funding after criticism over his spending. And so he's using his other office to sort of punish the people that are ratting him out in his other office. So part of the problem here is we have office holders that are holding dual positions, elected positions, and they're inherently conflictual.
Yeah, but it's not it doesn't violate state law because state law authorizes that to happen. Unfortunately, there should be no dual office holding, period, in any office in the state. That's my personal opinion, and he's not the only one that holds two offices. Napoleon Harris, he's state senator and township supervisor. You got the mayor of Rosemont's also a state rep.
Yep, Brad Stevens.
Then you got Hanyard was both the mayor and the township supervisor, and she commingled the funds and personnel and equipment of both of those local governments like I've never seen before. It's like she just merged it all into one. Used the city police to follow around our township job and everything else. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. So in this Center Square article, Reform for Illinois Executive Director Elisa Kaplan said Illinois' ethics laws do not provide enough safeguards when elected officials simultaneously serve in multiple offices, such as mayor and state legislator. Many states have stricter limits on dual office holding, and I think Illinois could benefit from those as well. Kaplan said it leads to too much consolidation of power in the hands of one person. She said conflicts can arise when lawmakers oversee municipal budgets while also serving in the state legislature, where they can influence funding decisions affecting their own communities. Absolutely. I mean, common sense here, but we don't have common sense in this state.
No, we don't. And it's a lot worse than just the state offices holding local office. We have our fire district board down here with 3 board members are all in the same family. And that's the one that we busted out for charging up hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of money against the fire district.
Well, and then you had the married couple too, right? That kind of got elected and then trotted off with like over $200,000 because he was like the supervisor and she was the clerk or something.
And you have road commissioners all over the state that happen to, the only person qualified enough to be their administrative assistant is their wife. I mean, it's ridiculous. They shouldn't be able to hire a relative. If you're the elected official with the hiring power, relatives should be off. No hire any relatives. If your relative needs a job, resign from office, and then the new guy can hire him. And the state keeps doing all these one-off exceptions. Airport authorities, because somebody in Lawrenceville, Illinois, years ago wanted to be on the airport board, and he worked for the school district. State legislator made the exception that you can, the only exception is for school district employees in counties under 25,000 can also be appointed to the airport authority board. Nobody else can, but that one incident, yeah, they can.
Oh yeah.
It's all these one-offs that just drive me nuts.
Yep. Always fixing just one little problem, however they can, to make themselves feel good about what they're doing. Meanwhile, they're scamming the taxpayers. All right. That's all we have time for right now. John, really appreciate your commentary today. Thanks a lot for joining us on The Real Story. And we'll be right back, and we'll take some phone calls here. We got some lined up.
Yep, on The Real Story. AM 560, The Answer.
Make your voice heard. Call or text The Real Story at 312-642-5600.
If watching TV has gotten way too complicated for you, then here's some good news. You can say goodbye to a million different subscriptions, wasting money and endless searching for something to watch. And say hello to Philo, a better way to TV. Philo's the only streaming service that keeps you in mind, making TV easy and affordable without sacrificing quality or the channels you love. With Philo, there's a package that's right for you. Whether you're looking for the best live TV on more than 70 channels, with a huge library of movies and shows, and an unlimited DVR, or you're looking to upgrade your experience with Philo's bundle, unlocking access to even more blockbuster films on top-rated shows on HBO Max Basic with ads, AMC Plus, and Discovery Plus. Whatever you choose, with Philo, you're getting great TV for an even better price. Find out more at philo.tv. That's PHILO.tv. Subscriptions auto-renew, cancel anytime. See philo.tv for more.
It's almost time once again for the annual AM 560 Golf Outing, presented by Signature Bank. AM 560 is proud to partner with the Tunnel to Towers Foundation to help them support America's first responder and military heroes, to help America never forget 9/11. This year, our golf outing is happening on Monday, June 15th at McRae Memorial Golf Club in Barrington. When you purchase a foursome to join us, you'll enjoy a full day of golf, meals, an awards reception, and a silent auction. And if you're a business owner, when you purchase a foursome, you'll also receive an AM 560 marketing campaign, which includes 25 one-minute commercials to air on AM 560 Monday through Friday between 5 a.m. and 8 p.m., and a free digital marketing analysis. Reserve your foursome today at 560theanswer.com/golf. That's 560theanswer.com/golf. Sponsored in part by Edward Jones Financial Advisor Nolan Webster and by real estate broker Ed Dream at leavingil.com. AM 560, The Answer.
312-642-5600. Phone lines blowing up this Wednesday morning. Thank you for calling. Who do you want to take first? Let's,
we're going to go with Mike in Yorkville. Mike, welcome to the program.
Good morning, Jeannie. Good morning, Amy. Hey, just hearing that one guy you was talking about, those one-offs. In those small towns, there should be no exception because that's a consolidation of power. That should never happen. Because those small towns, once you get in a couple spots, forget it. They control everything at that point. But as far as what you guys were talking about, the Mayor Kelly Met City, I find that almost just as comparable as the comptroller that was in Dixon, Illinois, the way they handle their finances. Very similar. Not saying they spent it on the same things, but very similar. And I find it funny, it's okay over here, but it's not okay over there. It's wrong across the board, but we don't have people willing to do the right things. That's why people are leaving the state, and people don't agree with a lot of things that are going on in this nation. Thank you.
Yep. Thanks a lot, Mike. Look, if you're not going to speak up, if you're not going to run for office, then you're going to be governed by the people that do speak up and run for office, and that's just the bottom line.
But Thaddeus Jones, I mean, the fact that Channel 9 did a story on him with the Park District Director saying we need $250,000. She was a whistleblower. Mm-hmm. After that mailed or aired, he sent out an email threatening retribution, saying, now you're not getting the $250,000 and shame on WGN. I mean, who the heck does he think he is?
Well, they all think that they're kings down there because he's been there for a decade plus. And oh, by the way, he went and got a law degree while also being a state rep. He was frequently gone during that time frame for classes or tests or whatever.
See, this is the real story.
Yeah,
That's why
you get
guys
it right
listen.
here. I know. Okay, let's go to staying on Calumet City before we take Bob and Dawn. Let's go to Tom in Cedar Lake. Tom.
Oh, hello. Calumet City's trying to take the old River Oaks Mall under eminent domain under some gigantic redevelopment project. It doesn't seem like they have the money to do that. I don't know what's going on there, and if that collapses, I mean, will the people of Illinois be responsible for it? You know, they may have bigger problems than the ones you've been talking about.
Yeah, well, you know what? I'm sure they've got the solution, though. They'll just turn it all into a big data center.
That's what I was going to say. Too soon, Jeannie?
Oh, my gosh.
A data center?
Yeah.
Or a pickleball court, a very large one.
Well, they have a little pond in the forest preserve across the street. Maybe they could use that for cooling water. Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Let's not give them any ideas. All right. Hey, Tom, thanks a lot for the phone call. I appreciate that. Okay. Bob in Glen Ellen, welcome to the program.
Hi, Amy. And this state representative of the 42nd District, Margaret Della Rosa, appointed in October of 2025, and she was president.
Hey, Bob, you're kind of breaking up. You're breaking up a little bit.
Hey, Bob, why don't we do this? We'll hang up on you. We're going to talk to Dawn and then call back, okay?
Yeah, we'll see if we can get a better connection. Call back, Bob. Thanks a lot.
But Margaret Della Rosa, what was he saying?
Margaret Della Rosa is an appointed state representative after Tara Costa Howard got appointed as a judge because they don't want to win election the first time. It's best to be appointed into it. So she's an appointed state rep right now, but she's also the president of a D87 in Glen Ellen, the high school district there. She's holding both positions. And yet they had passed a policy saying you can't hold dual positions.
Oh.
And so they're in violation of their own policy. I think Bob was going to talk about that. Hopefully he will call back. Let's go to Dawn in Batavia.
Good morning, ladies. I grew up on a farm in McHenry County and Coral Township, and also bleeding over into Hampshire Township in Kane County. I was born in Kane County, so I'm a native of the area, and I'm very familiar with our environmental issues. I actually support the use of solar energy. I'm not opposed to petrol fuels or fossil fuels. I used to work for a time with the University of Oklahoma Department of Petroleum Engineering. But I believe it is important for people involved in agriculture to utilize the best energy source, the free energy source that we have. I live in a residence that has a very large solar energy generating system, and my data centers as a physicist are powered by that system. It works fine. I don't have any problems because I study the sun. I am a helio-geo-biophysicist. I study the sun-earth living connection, and I have learned to extract energy in an efficient way that meets my needs. I have hardly any heating or cooling costs.
All right. Hey, Dawn, I appreciate
to use that.
Yeah. Hey, I appreciate your commentary. We're going to go back to Bob because he got cut off. Thanks a lot for that information. Appreciate it. And we'll talk more about it.
Bob, you have 30 seconds. Go.
Okay. So Margaret Della Rosa, State 42nd District, she's on the school board for District 87, Glenbar District 87. And they actually have passed a disqualifying event holding another public office incompatible with a school board. So it's crazy that they let her do it, even though they have a policy saying that she can't.
All right.
Yeah,
thanks,
they lie about their own policy. Jeepers, Glen Ellen, frickin' wake up.
Thanks so much for joining us on The Real Story. We're back here tomorrow at 11 a.m. Have a great day, and God bless America.
Rashaw talks about building income in retirement.
You know, you can actually structure it in a way that